Yeah, listen, I just thought we played a lot more to our identity. Obviously, we have adjustments that we've got to make. To losing the two guys we lost, the caliber of Adama and Tyrese for the foreseeable future. But I thought we were just more to our identity today, even though we gave up a high shooting percentage in the first half. It wasn't because we were lethargic. It's because we had guys in spots, defending off the ball in ball screen situations that, haven't been in those positions a lot. So I think their high field goal percentage in the first half was a reflection on that. But we wanted to pressure them. We wanted to try to dictate terms more. I think we've gotten away from getting after people and picking up and using our athleticism. And obviously now with Adama out in particular, we've got to be able to play faster and get into people more in the full court. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's obviously a lot easier to do today. It was a strategic mistake by myself in the last game. We decided to play a possession game in a bye game, which is always a dangerous thing. So I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why we didn't pick up and pressure more against Maryland Eastern Shores. I just did a terrible job with that as a coach. But in a game like this versus this type of an opponent, we need to speed them up and pressure them. And we're going to have to play this way moving forward. Strength is our athleticism and our mobility. And, we're going to have to extend our defense and try to really push the ball down the court a lot more, try and speed up the pace of these games without the big fella to throw it into. Yeah, no, I mean, listen, if RJ and Isaiah are off a tick, we're in deep, deep trouble. So, again, you lose, first team all-conference level guy and another guy that's an all-conference level player, and Tyree, you lose two all-conference level guys, that you're, and now you've got Isaiah and RJ who are also, RJ's playing like one of the best guards in the conference, and Isaiah is one of the most invaluable players in our league in terms of just a do-it-all guy. So, yeah, I mean, we cannot afford those guys to be off a tick, and then everyone else has got to give us more.
Did you see enough from the guys who had to step in and absorb the minutes that were lost? Did you see enough from those guys to have some confidence that they can sustain you through these next few games?
Yeah, I think Jordan. I felt like Jordan needed to let a couple more threes go. I thought he was. I thought he had a couple chances where he could have got off a clean three. He's such a big time shooter, and he turned it into like a tough mid-range shot. I mean, but guys like Tyler, like we're going to need. We're going to need double-figure points, nightly from him. He's going to have to give it to us pretty much, every night. Jalen, I thought he had a great response today. He was really, really aggressive, and he played with a lot of force. I think he really responded to, the way that we went at him the last couple of days. Sampson, obviously you see the talent there with him. I mean, when he just gets a clue as to what's going on out there, this time that Adama is going to miss, if we could just kind of hold down the fort here, that's just going to be another weapon that we're going to have in our arsenal. So, and I thought Cook responded well. He looked, more like himself. He looked more confident. And obviously with the level of competition, the way that's heading, I think guys are going to feel more confident going into next week.
I was going to ask you about Cook, but did you think that once he got a couple blocks, he sort of settled in, really got a little more of a feel for the game than he has in, 3 weeks or whatever?
Yeah, it's it was good for him just to getting a lob dunk, making some impact blocks. He drove the ball. He played offense today, as opposed to, I think in the Bahamas where he was just kind of a little bit frozen out there in terms of trying to find a way to just kind of get into the flow of the way things happen offensively as things are occurring. So, we're going to need, we're going to need close to double figure points from him, an impact on the defensive and offensive glass, and that shot blocking.
As you mentioned, things get a lot trickier next week. Are you comfortable, going into the environment you're going to go in Wednesday night with some of and it's not a necessity, obviously, but some of the less experienced guys jumping into that kind of?
Yeah, we haven't played a true road game since like March. I was like Tulane before COVID, and then in terms of actually there being a real big crowd, I can't remember the last time we played in a hostile environment. So, yeah, I'll prepare the guys. I'll let them know the musket. They shoot the musket, I think, at halftime. And if people will be screaming at them, it's going to be intense, but there's nothing better than what we're about to experience. There's nothing better. These, the bye games, they suck. You're just trying to avoid disaster, and you just pray that your guys don't take the game lightly and that you don't just blow your season up by blowing one of these games. But the next 22, that's what this thing's all about.
What can you say about RJ's ability to get to the free throw line in games like this?
Well, that's a sign of a guy that just understands how to play great, because he couldn't make, his perimeter shot didn't work for him tonight, but. And he didn't have his A game offensively, but he still found, and I have no idea how many points he scored because the computer's not working. But how many points did he score? He had 18 points, and he had a bad shooting game. That's a sign of a guy that then was able to use his mind and his basketball IQ to find his way to the type of production that we need from him every night. So that's a sign of a guy that's learning how to be like a first-team all-conference and a big-time college basketball guard, is that they still are productive. And then his leadership didn't wane as he wasn't making shots. A lot of guys that just don't understand how to be a big time guard. If they're not making shots, then they let that affect their leadership too. And he didn't allow not making shots affect his leadership and his energy. And then he thought his way through the game.
Dan, what kind of adjustments do you plan to make with your guys as they prepare for two of the biggest games that they've seen so far this year?
Yeah, we got some time to practice. The thing that happens in the Bahamas and in Maryland Eastern Shores, as you're losing Isaiah for a game, and then as you realize that Tyrese breaks his hand in the third game, and then you're off Sunday, the guys are shot on Monday, so you can't practice, and then now you're playing Maryland Eastern Shore on that Tuesday. You had no time to practice things and to actually prepare. We're gonna have film tomorrow, and we're gonna have Monday and Tuesday to really make adjustments to our philosophy at both ends with this new type of lineup, and then leading into the Bonnie. That's crazy. So we're going to get 4 days of real prep this week with these two games, and that'll give us a chance to get a lot more organized with how we need to approach things, losing two big-time players.
Coming into the season, I know you felt like you had a lot of depth, that it was a really deep team that you had. Now that you've played this number of games, and the reason you build depth, right, is so that you could get through times like this when guys are hurt. Do you still feel as good about your depth as you did a month and a half ago?
I felt great about it when we're whole. Yeah, because the scary part is when you move everybody up. You've got, again, one of the, I don't know if there's many better interior low post scorers than Adama Sanogo. Probably only a handful in college basketball. That's tough to lose. I don't think there's a wing that plays with more force and athleticism than Tyrese Martin. So that sucks to lose that. But yeah, we've got guys that have helped us win a lot of big games since I've been here the last couple of years. Jalen Gaffney, Tyler Polley, Andre's had enough of a runway over his career now. He's got several starts, and I think he's better in the high major games, Andre. I think he has better focus in the high major games than he does in the low major. He seems to kind of paint outside the lines a little too much in some of these games. And then for some reason, I think he shapes up when he has more of that respectful fear of his opponent. But yeah, we got to find a way to win these games. I mean, we cannot, we do not want Tyrese and Adama, returning to something that is going bad. So yeah, it may not be pretty, but we've got to find a way in UConn fashion to win enough games the way we did last year, when Book was out.